Hello friends. So today we are going to cover up our last unit, one of the topic which we have left with, and the topic is the process of controlling. So let's go ahead with this topic, process of controlling, as we have already studied about the controlling concept and we have covered the definitions and the meaning of controlling. Today let's see how the controlling process works. So control process involves the following steps as shown in the figure. There are total 4 steps involved in controlling. First one is establishment of standards. Second one is measurement of actual performance. And third is comparison of actual performance with the standards. And the fourth and the last step will be corrective action if necessary. All these 4 steps are involved, are interconnected with the feedback. Let's see one by one the brief about all the steps. The first one is establishing standards. Standards are the plans or the targets which have to be achieved in the course of business function. They can also be called as criterion for judging the performance. So here, as you can see, standards are generally classified into two categories. The first one is measurement measurable or tangible, and the second one is non measurable or intangible. Let's go ahead with the first topic, that is tangible or measurable standards. Those standards which can be measured and expressed are called measurable standards. They can be in form of cost, output, expenditure, time, profit, etc. And let's go ahead with the second one, that is non measurable or intangible. So from the term itself we can see there are standards which cannot be measured monetarily. For example, performance of manager, deviation of workers, their attitude toward the concern. These are called intangible standards. So these standards are non-measurable or very difficult to measure, or we can say it is intangible in nature. Intangible in the sense we can't touch or we can't see or we can't feel them. That is intangible. Then controlling becomes easy through establishment of these standards because controlling is exercised on the basis of these standards. So let's go ahead with the second step. The second step is measurement of actual performance. The first step, what we have done is we have established a standards, particular standard which we have to establish. Why we establish a standard? Because we need to compare the actual performance with the standard. Okay, so whatever the company standard, we can say then on an average company is producing 10 quintal 10 quintal per month. Then this is like on an average we can say this is a standards which a particular company is maintaining to produce 10 quintal per month. Any production we can take xyz. Suppose let's say take an example of uh, you can take an example of bread you can take. So a company, a particular factory unit is on an average is producing 10 10 quintal of bread per month. So it's like we can say average, if it is producing, that will become our standard. So to compete with this standard, what we have to do is we have to then again we have to measure the actual performance. If our actual performance, whatever the business activities we are going to do, whatever the steps we are going to take in the business process, and whatever the method we are going to follow, those all should match with the with the standards which we have maintained. So mean to say that our actual performance should be equal to the standard which we have maintained, or it should be more than that. If it is below the standards which we are maintaining, it means if we are producing less than 20 quintals of bread per month, it means we are running below the standards or below the average production which our factory unit is going to produce. So it means there is something which we need to correct, or there are some flaws in our production process, or we can say there may be some faults in our technical line or mechanical line. You can say anything. It may be a mistake of any one of them, or it may be a mistake of management also. So we have to see to that whether where is the fault, and that fault we have to rectify. After measuring the actual performance, what we can see is we have to compare the actual performance with the standard. Here actual performance, suppose our actual performance is 8 quintals, so and our standard is 10 quintal per month we are producing, and our actual performance is 8 quintal of production which we have done this month. So this is what we are doing is we are comparing the actual performance with the standard. Now there is a deviation of 2 quintal. So this deviation, how we have come up with this deviation, that we have to find out, we have to rectify, and what is the mistake, or what kind of mistakes, or what kind of you know flaws are there in the processes, that we need to find out, we need to rectify that. And the last step will be the taking corrective action. In last step, what we have to do is we have to take the corrective actions. Once the cause and extent of deviation are known, the manager has to detect those errors, and take remedial measures for it. Okay, as we have said earlier, whatever the flaws are there in the processes, whatever the faults are there in the methods, or in technical line, or in management side, that kind of flaws or mistakes we have to rectify. Once we rectify, or we have to take the corrective actions, once we take the corrective actions, so we will just come up with the solution for it. So we can give the same feedback to our first step, and that will be carried on with the second step, third step, and the fourth step. So all will be connected with feedback process. A proper feedback should be there with each of the step. If there is no feedback, then there will be difficulty of controlling. So each unit or each step should have a proper control system. If it will be connected with the proper feedback system. So feedback is most important thing. If you can see in this diagram also, all the steps are interconnected with the proper feedback, you can see. So this is all about process of controlling. Okay, so hope you'll try to cover up this topic as soon as possible, and let's hope that in the next topic we'll meet up very soon. Till then, bye bye, thank you.